Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
First, a word from our sponsor. Welcome to the Daily Compliance News for June 14, 2023. Yes, Flag Day, the Digital Nomad Edition. The romantic dream of being a digital nomad is almost as old as the internet itself, but it took off in COVID-19 when the pandemic created perfect circumstances. However, alas for the romantics, the dream of freedom has collided with the reality of tax, immigration, cyber laws, and labor laws. Companies haven't killed off digital nomadicism for the masses, but they are wrestling it into a less risky and more controlled form. In other words, digital nomadism is now being corporatized. So start thinking about that if you want to become a digital nomad. Next up from Bloomberg, publishing in LinkedIn, why we go to the office now. Well, CEOs keep insisting some of the best reasons to come back to the office are to reconnect with employees, and boost creativity. But new research finds that many returning employees just want to get their work done. If you focus on work, sometimes it's better to do that in the office. So check it out and see if you qualify under that. We continue our theme about employees and working with an article from the Wall Street Journal in Management and Managing Your Career by Lindsay Ellis, entitled, "First It Was Quiet Quitting, Now It's Workers Facing Off with Their Bosses." Half of workers are not engaged on the job, according to Gallup. Employee engagement is a measure of involvement and enthusiasm has declined for the second year in a row. Why? Well, it's employers who continually bitch about their employees, but the reality is employers who don't engage employees and engage them in a meaningful way, well, that's what leads to this type of employee. It's rather amazing that here in 2023, employers still don't seem to understand that employee engagement is one of the most powerful tools for not only positive work, but to create and engender trust in their workforce. Yet employers just want to crack the whip and make people come to work and not engage with them. Our last story comes to us from Eurasianet, which discusses, unfortunately, a horrific wildfire in Kazakhstan that has caused the death of at least 14 emergency workers. And the populace of the province where it's held is livid over the corruption in Kazakhstan, which they believe led directly to these deaths. And indeed, the government has had to cancel news conferences because people are so upset. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.